Alright, I want to go over The Last Tennis Match in the movie Challengers starring Zendaya, a movie that just won the Critics' Choice Award for Best Editing. Two things that have come together to form one big giant thing no one cares about: professional critics' opinions and the movie Challengers. When it was first announced that Challengers won for Best Editing, this was the scene given as an example, and if I can get a little personal here, I'm legally blind, but this scene made me pray to Jesus that he take the rest of my vision away. And the fact that Challengers got a Critics' Choice Award for Best Editing is proof that professional critics are higher than the time your roommate set a Hot Pocket in the microwave and put his PIN number in for the cook time. The whole scene from Challengers is a classic case of just because you could doesn't mean you should. Now, full disclosure, make sure your stomach is empty before you watch this scene, because I'm not going to be responsible for you yakking up your breakfast onto your favorite pair of weekend jean shorts. The scene starts where Glitterstick here tries to force choke a ball boy who's just confused and embarrassed for the guy, so he throws him a ball instead. And this ball toss is probably the weakest throw you've ever seen a grown man make. Seriously, I've seen toddlers with more conviction behind a throw than what this toss was. Just terrible throwing mechanics all around, but also the ball boy has a kind of stiffness that says, yeah, I'll do my job, but don't try and force your way into my hotel room again. Also, this woman next to him is in the position of what I like to call the over-involved mom, usually reserved for the mom who's about 3.5 White Claws deep and 8 octaves louder than the other parents. She just watched her snail of a son get thrown out at first base before she yells, "You can't do that," while refusing to understand the basic concepts of baseball, no matter how many ways dad explains it to her. But here she's calm and cool. The shot cuts away before she leaned in and said, "Good throw, baby, you're the best on your team." And when Glitterstick catches the ball, the sickest soundtrack to a hacker fight montage drops. Seriously, listening to this song will have you waiting for someone clacking on the loudest keyboard possible while saying, "We're in. Someone else is trying to break into our mainframe. I'm going to try to gig his mega RAM," all leading to a "this guy's good," followed by a sweaty "damn, this hacker's got some skills." Absolute insanity to think Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross put together the Challenger soundtrack, because it sounds like something MTV thought was techno music back in the 90s. Cut to Sassy Sebastian, who looks like the secret's out that he likes to play the game What's This Smell Like when he's home alone, and the two tennis stars in the movie Challengers lock eyes with one another in a series of slow motion shots where you get uncomfortable because you know they are mentally stringing each other's rackets. Then cut to this ridiculous shot where they're now playing tennis on top of mom's coffee table. This is a clear case of the director being a pervert, trying to score some upshort shots of the actor while pretending this has some kind of artistic merit. He'll defend it with a "I saw this shot on a perfume ad once." No dude, you wanted some delicious upshorts for your mounted hard drive at home. You have to admit to this. And one look at director Luca Guadagnino, and you see a man whose hobbies usually result in restraining orders. And here's where the film demands if you're going to walk the walk, you gotta puke the puke. We get out of the slow motion shots and right into a camera with a low shutter angle to give the ball that Saving Private Ryan strobing effect that begs the question, where's the tank that blew up Private Jackson in the bell tower these days? And why isn't it on the tennis court right now? Balls to shaft, it's time for some male-on-male tennis action. But first we gotta do more slow motion eye sex, which leads to smirk sex, which says, "Are you ready for my balls?" which leads to Sassy Sebastian smirking back like, "I got 64 fluid ounces of extra virgin olive oil in my tennis bag with our names all over it." Now here is where the editor of Challengers, Marco Costa, is trying to raise as much tension as possible before the serving and the stroking and man-on-man grunting can officially begin. But if you look at something like the ending of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the dramatic intensity is heightened by the fact that the camera starts wide and slowly cuts to extreme close-ups, giving the viewer nowhere to run as the three gunfighters choose to who they're going to shoot. The tension is also mounting through Ennio Morricone's soundtrack, which didn't sound like a rejected intro to MTV's True Life. But here in Challengers, we've already started in on the close-ups, so there's nowhere to go for the tension to be raised. The audience can run away from this scene at any time, and should. Glitterstick throws the ball in the air where it teabags the lens so hard it instantly absorbs the $50,000 camera. The audience is now beaten and battered like it's Jay Leno owing the mafia some money behind a Hampton Inn. And it's here you realize, like all those pending court orders, restraining director Luca Guadagnino is a good thing. Finally, the audience has been bludgeoned to death and is on its way to heaven when it finds out it's really hell, where they are forced to watch Zendaya act in slow motion for all eternity. This leads into a sequence that will activate a medical condition that you never knew you had. With 20 cuts in 10 seconds, clearly Challengers is referencing award-winning editing masterpieces like Catwoman. Taken 3. And Mulan 2020. Editor Marco Costa is just hitting the cut button like Challengers was USAID and he's working for Doge. Just a textbook case of the only way we can save this movie is to make sure the audience doesn't get a chance to think about what they're seeing. Cut to this shot where Sassy Sebastian is about to hit a drop shot with an overhand right, and absolutely not, dude. There's no way this ball's going anywhere but getting smoked right into the net. But with the magical power of editing, the match continues, making you wish you could catch a 250-mile-per-hour hot iron with your face. Cut one more time to the director's thinly veiled fetish, right into a move I call the snoozing Snyder, for its slow motion shot mixed with terrible direction. The challengers crowd is watching the ball volley back and forth, but it's immediately apparent that public school has failed Zendaya when they taught the difference between which side is her left and which is her right. See, the assistant director is shouting which direction he wants the crowd to look, left or right, to make it look like they're watching a tennis match and not craft services packing away the all-you-can-eat cocktail wieners. The AD called out left, but then Zendaya got private pile brain when he switched it up on her and called right.
What side was that, Private Pile?
Sir, left side, sir!
What side was that, Private Pile?
Sir, right side, sir!
The ball is popped up here, so Glitter Stick goes into a full vertical slippy drippy ass smasher, just ready to spike this ball through Sassy Sebastian's head. Now Sassy Sebastian knows he's in the worst position possible, because when you see someone who is 70% out of bounds still attempting to make a play 10 feet in the air, that means it's personal and he's going to commit a double fault homicide. This ball isn't going to the back of the court, but through your left orbital bone, severing the brainstem from the spine, where your instantaneous and uncontrollable mud butt will be the comedic exclamation point to your Mortal Kombat fatality that everyone will witness. But this is Challengers starring Zendaya and directed by the same guy who directed Call Me By Your Name, where Timothée Chalamet is a teenager groomed by Cannibal Army Hammer, and it was presented as a love story. So instead they land in a full rainbow squeeze, going nipple to nipple and touching tips, before sucking the cream out of a couple of cannolis at the Italian restaurant Splugio's, and we're just happy the scene is over. So there you have it, definitive proof that professional critics are high on angel dust to not only nominate Challengers for best editing, but to actually hand it the award. Modern professional critics are horrible, twisted freaks who get their disgusting kicks trying to get you to sniff their own farts. The second best thing Luca Guadagnino and Marco Costa could have done was put down the amphetamine-laced espressos and kept their brown-stained fingers from the cut button. Also, just because they filmed it doesn't mean it has to be in the final cut. Sometimes those up shorts while men play tennis have to stay at home. And if you're in the same league as Catwoman, Taken 3, and Mulan, you need to loogie yourself out of a moving car window immediately and find a job giving seasonal tractor rides at the local farm. And of course, the first best thing they could have done with Challengers was delete the whole movie, collect their tax write-off, and throw Zendaya a couple of bucks before saying, "Here kid, why don't you go get yourself an acting class and a left-right lesson." Hey, do yourself a favor, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more of my award-winning personality to fix your day. Not that I care about it or anything, but I got you. I'm out of here.